Hello. Welcome to the third part of the Boundless Necromancer. A special thanks to my Patreon for supporting me. And if you want to support, you can join my Patreon for as low as $1. Thank you very much. Let's begin. At the beginning of this part we see that Sungyun is attacking Iron Blood. Iron Blood thinks he cut his own arm. Iron Blood says, Han Sungyun, get it together. You're not in your right mind right now. Sungyun says, the administrators and the tower. There's some kind of relationship between the two, no. Sungyun uses a lot of blood knives to attack. Sungyun says, to exploit the challengers. Iron Blood says, that doesn't make sense. So get a grip, Han Sungyun. Sungyun says, but why have you kept telling me to get a grip since earlier? I totally have it fucking together right now. Sungyun uses a really strong attack. Iron Blood says, wait. If you actually put your full power into that, it destroys Iron Blood's house. She gets really angry and says, you really? A lot of swords appear above Sungyun's head. Sungyun tries to dodge. Iron Blood grabs Sungyun, says, where are you going? She slams him into the ground. Sungyun swings his sword with full power. A lot of swords hit Sungyun. Sungyun says, I apologize. My sanity's returned now. So, please untie me. Sungyun is tied upside down. Iron Blood says, I will obviously untie you, but I'm worried that the next time you visit, my house will evaporate. Sungyun says, I think the you that I witnessed when you were proving you had it together showed the remnants of the abyss that hadn't been completely removed yet, and became permanently fixed in your personality. Even if you've become twisted, that's another you of the future. So, your suspicion of the administrators was probably not completely fake either. I'll make this clear, nobody can read the intentions of the tower. That goes for the administrators as well. Then does the tower expect something from me? There's no way. She unties Sungyun. From what I know, the tower has never shown its will to a challenger. So the fact that the tower expects something special from one challenger makes no sense. Iron Blood says, but seeing you in doubt, must mean you heard something from someone, right? Sungyun says, yes. The god of verification spoke as if the tower was expecting something from me. Iron Blood says, the god of verification. So is that why he had such doubts? She says, as I've said before, I, too, am subordinated to the tower. Sungyun thinks, as I expected, is there nothing else I can learn about the tower? She says, I'm glad you're enjoying the tea. It's made from the urine of a black dragon, so drink up. It's rare. Oh yeah, and the god of verification said this too, that administrators are beings who earn divinity copies through a contract with the tower. Iron Blood says, divinity copies, I can't tell you about that right now. But if it's you, even if you don't want to know, you'll find out. Quite soon hereafter, that is. Sungyun says, then I have one last thing to ask you. She says, what is it? Sungyun says, you said you had an earnest wish you wanted to fulfill before. She says, yes. Sungyun says, White Crane Swordmaster said that the earnest wish is a right that the tower grants to the administrators. And that you can fulfill what you want to fulfill through the challengers who signed disciple contracts. She says, is that so? It seems that Rescal told you everything about earnest wishes. Sungyun says, so why didn't you tell me all about your earnest wish back then? She says, that is because I felt fear. Sungyun says, what does that? She says, you are currently underestimating yourself. And I saw how you were excessively obsessed with your growth. She says, so, for your growth, I thought you would fly towards the earnest wish trial and challenge it like a moth. Sungyun says, although I can't deny that, the reason I have no choice but to do so is because I have no talent. She says, I don't know just what you think talent is. But soon, you'll learn just how much you're underestimating yourself. That, because the 12th floor trial, Sungyun is in the waiting, and thinks talent, the attainment of which you cannot change, the gift given by the sky, are separated into 3 aptitudes in the world of hunters. System says, skill acquisition, stat increase, trait enlightenment. These are called the hunter's 3 gifts. And, I wasn't born with any of those. I couldn't gain a skill, my abilities didn't increase, and I couldn't even enlighten a unique trait. After entering the Tower of Trails, a lot did change. But the truth didn't. The truth that a bastard without talent couldn't grow due to his traits. The Iron Blood Monarch is mistaken about something. Me having talent. If I did have something like that, I would have been able to be a famous hunter even if I didn't come to the tower. Iron Blood says, soon, you'll learn just how much you're underestimating yourself. That's because the 12th floor trail is a fight with yourself. The 12th floor trial is a trail where you need to fight and win against a reproduced version of yourself. What's the use of thinking more about it? Sungyun says, this trail is about looking at yourself objectively, let's just think about it as an opportunity to improve my fighting skills. He buys a potion from the shop. Skill proficiency increasing potion rank C+. A specially produced potion by the tower for those gifted with skill. Once taken, one of your skills can randomly increase in proficiency by 10%. Sungyun thinks, during the Namgong Hyuk situation, this is one of the rewards I received from the Japanese government, the skill proficiency increasing potion. Catherine gave me hers, so I got a total of 3. He consumed one of the potions. System says, you have consumed skill Poroscience increasing potion rank C+. Please pick the skill you'd like to increase in proficiency. Sungyun says, magic management. Selection complete. Sungyun thinks, the skill I obtained after hunting the Dark Monarch on the 10th floor trail. Magic management. It becomes the foundation of all other skills, so it is definitely worth investing in. Skill magic management CA- has increased in proficiency by 10%. Skill magic management CA- has increased in proficiency B. Sungyun says, and there's the reward I got from the 11th floor trail. System says, old mirror of verification rank S-. A mirror that only challengers who have properly carried out the trial given by the god of verification can receive. When you put magic power into the mirror, the exclusive effect remaining thoughts will activate, limited to the first time. Sungyun activates skill Flame Dragon Eye. System says, limited to the first time, you can acquire the skill that is ingrained in remaining thoughts. However, the user cannot decide the acquirement of the skill ingrained in remaining thoughts. Currently, the god of verification has especially changed a part of the effect for one challenger. By remaining thoughts, Old Mirror of Verification S-'s exclusive effect, remaining thoughts, is activating. Sungyun says, as I thought. The Old Mirror of Verification S-'s exclusive effect, remaining thoughts, has been activated, and you have randomly acquired the skill ingrained in remaining thoughts. Inheriting skill, Fighting Concentration A+. Ingraining remaining thoughts Fighting experience into skill Fighting Concentration A+. The fighting experience of remaining thoughts within Fighting Concentration A+, has increased proficiency by 11%. Fighting Concentration A+, proficiency 11%. Description: a transcendental concentration that helps you focus to your limits in a battle situation. Effect: can randomly increase your concentration. Currently you can increase your concentration by 20 times at most, but if you use it too much, the proportionate rebound will accompany it. Sungyun sees that and smiles and says, not bad. The current trail's topic is surpassing limits. The 12th floor trail is starting. 48 hours remaining. Conditions OT complete this trail. Kill the duplicated version of yourself in the time given. Conditions to fail this trail: death of the challenger or time running out. Trail completion rewards Ancient Emperor's Ash Crown A-. Trail failure penalty: death. System says, the blessing given by the god of darkness has sensed an intruder in the ancient palace, and is creating a guardian fighter. The intruder must now think about how much they know about themselves. Item: Vampire Count's old tailcoat A- has been copied. Please kill the other version of yourself that the god of darkness has created. Iron Blood says, the extent of the reproduction doesn't stop there, it even copies your experiences. He thinks, in other words, the reproduced version of me knows all of the strategies I'll use right now. And the reproduced version of yourself even copies your talent. You'll get screwed over if you underestimate your own talent. Sungyun thinks, yes, let's confirm. My talent, that is. Sungyun thinks, God of Darkness. Why do I keep getting involved with these gods? My clone, or should I say, my replica. But it really is eerily similar. From the advice the Iron-Blooded Monarch gave me, and what I heard from using my question voucher. Apparently the replica can only copy one item. The Vampire Count's old tailcoat. It chose a defense item. If it really copied me properly. This is a good opportunity to judge myself accurately. System says, skill instant acceleration activated. Skill wind's grace activated. All speeds will be increased by 70%. Current stacks in use 7 by 7. Sungyun says, yes, let's confine it. My talent. Skill fighting concentration activated. User concentration activated. User's concentration increased by 2x. Sungyun thinks, it feels like time around me is going by slowly. So this is fighting concentration. Sungyun gets really excited. He activates power burning sword intent activated. Sungyun uses a really powerful attack on his copy. Sungyun sees him and thinks, iron-blooded sword. Well, that was obvious. And next will obviously be counter shield. The combination of iron-blooded sword and counter shield is basically the replica's only choice. Sungyun is really surprised to see his copy. His copy brings out 2 swords. And Sungyun thinks, he changed counter shield into a sword. Sungyun sees him and thinks, dual sword arts that even I, the original, have never used. It's using them in an actual fight. Because transforming counter shield takes a lot of mana and mental power, I don't use that method. So why did he chose such an inefficient method? Of course I had been thinking of double sword arts, but using it in an actual fight with your life on the line. I can't understand it. His copy jumps toward him. Sungyun sees him and thinks, does he think this is practice? The both hit each other with multiple attacks. Sungyun thinks, it's slight. But I think I'm losing when it comes to pure skill. How? Perhaps, is it indomitable will? Skill indomitable will rank a minus. Proficiency 27%. Description: the symbol of one who will not yield to despair and keep challenging themselves to the impossible. Basic effect. When you face someone who is stronger than you, your physical abilities and concentration will greatly increase. Detailed effect. After activation of skills, it will be easier to obtain enlightenment and your mental protection ability is strengthened. Sungyun says, I hold dominance when it comes to items right now, so indomitable will, which I absorbed from Lesilian, activated for him. So if his physical abilities are higher than mine, and if he's raised fighting concentration to the max and is currently demonstrating transcendental concertation, then it totally makes sense. But the bigger problem right now, it's being performed through the double swords. But it's definitely his swordsmanship. Copy hits him with a really powerful attack. But it's definitely his swordsmanship. Sungyun hits the wall behind him. There's no doubt about it. Blue Heaven Sword Dragon. It's Namgong Hyuk's swordsmanship. I've only met him once, but I can still clearly remember it. The terrifying godliness that helped me understand his arrogance. In looking down on skills. It wasn't skill or power, but pure technique. Those techniques made me really wonder if, as Namgong Hyuk said, they could surpass skills as a whole. Because Namgong Hyuk's swordsmanship wasn't utilizing skills, I judged that I wouldn't be able to learn it on my own. But soon, you'll learn just how much you're underestimating yourself. Sungyun thinks, so the true talent that the Tron-blooded monarch was talking about was this. You've met a strong opponent that you will have a hard time dealing with. Skill indomitable will activated. The system has now judged that I'm at a disadvantage. Even though I still have superiority in our items. Is that it? That he's grown. Sungyun gets really angry and activates skill fighting concentration activated greatly. User's concentration increased by 10x. They throw a lot of really strong attacks each other. Real Sungyun is being pushed back. Sungyun says, how is this the same level as me? He's a total monster. His concentration increased by 15x. Sungyun activates Wings of Steel. Flying at maximum speed. His concentration increased by 17x. Sungyun says, got you. Copy's hand gets bigger. And blows up. Sungyun thinks, my vision. Did he blow up his own arm and escape? His copy uses a laser attack. I'm going to die. User's concentration increased by 20x. You have entered a concertation state that surpasses limits. Sungyun grabs his head and says, I feel like shit. Sungyun says, I really almost died. You, a mere duplicate, dares to keep fucking around. You have entered a concentration state that surpassed limits. As a side effect, you will experience a large mental recoil. Sungyun and his copy are fighting. Sungyun goes flying and hits the wall. He starts to bleed. He uses blood bullets. Sungyun hits his copy. Sungyun smiles and says, how does it taste? The both hit each other with a really strong attacks. His copy starts to heal itself. Sungyun says, "Bastard, you're stupidly strong, really." Iron Blood is watching him fight. Iron Blood says, "So this has happened again. How awkward. I can't openly help, but I can't just watch this either. I'm a bit worried about how the tower will react." Communication with Challenger Han Sungyun. System says, "The admin's message has been temporarily deactivated to prevent an advice-type message." Iron Blood says, "Please excuse me, at least a cup of tea to my contractor." Sungyun punches himself. Sungyun smiles and thinks, how dangerous in the middle battle. He gets really angry and says, "Stop interfering with this body. And stay down." Again. "I thought I was done with that annoying future me after the previous trail. I'm so annoyed." Someone says, "I fought for you because you were about to die, but you're not even thankful. You bastard." We see his future self standing in front of him smiling. Sungyun says, "Why don't you leave my body right now? You piece of shit." His future self says, "Idiot. You still don't know. Watch this situation carefully. You trained for so long, and even up to this point of climbing to the 12th floor of this tower. You can't even look at yourself properly. You pathetic bastard." Sungyun gets angry and says, "So what?" and tries to punch his future self. His future self stops him easily. Some really strong blood spikes appears in front of him. Sungyun tries to breaks them and his future self start walk. Sungyun says, "Where are you going? Come here, you bastard." His future self says, "Frustrating bastard. Should I teach you something? If you don't let go of the habit of fully relying on your skills, you can't use the real techniques. Got that, you idiot? You should just stay down for the rest of your life and watch. I'll control this body from now on." Pathetic. Future Sungyun takes control of Sungyun's body and says, "Okay, I think I've got the hang of it now. I know how it feels." System says, "Administrator Iron-Blooded Monarch has sent an item. Product of Black Dragon Rank B. A potion manufactured after specially processing a black dragon's fluids. Upon consumption, your mental power and immunity increases, and your mind clears up." Sungyun breaks the blood bars. His future self is surprised and thinks, "This bastard, again." Sungyun bring out a potion. His copy cuts high hand up. Sungyun breaks the potion with his mouth. His copy is surprised. Sungyun threw the glass pieces out of his mouth. Sungyun smiles and says, "I'm back." Sungyun thinks, while the other me was fighting, I definitely felt it. The feeling of letting go of my tendency to rely on my skills. If the replica can do it, so can I. User's concentration increased by 20x. The acceleration of my thing, and my lunacy's ego rising up again. I, who had entered the acceleration of my intact thinking, could finally feel it. An enlightenment in a moment that seemed to last forever. I need to throw away all of my reliance on the skills I have collected until now. Sungyun easily dodges the attacks of his copy. Sungyun thinks, I need to empty everything and adapt. Get rid of common sense. Get rid of stubbornness. System says, due to independent enlightenment, proficiency of magic management A- has risen 10%. You have acquired the achievement of enlightenment. Your stamina increases by 1. And finally, empty myself of all imagery altogether. You have acquired the achievement of trance. Your mana increases by 4. User is facing an enemy they can competently defeat. Skill Indomitable Will is deactivated. I'm turning things around from here. The third part of the Boundless Necromancer ends here. Please subscribe and like. And if you want me support financially, you can join my Patreon only for $1. Patreon and Discord links are in the description if you want support me. And a special thanks to all my Patreons for supporting me. Thanks for watching.